So you wish to know about the Sicarrino?
What was the name again? Der Titel ist Venere e Adone. Der Dirigent ist Kent Nagano. Die Regie ist von Georges Delnon. Es gibt eine Reflexion über die Verschiedenheit, nicht nur philosophisch, aber sehr direkt. Es ist sehr einfach zu hören, zu sehen.
It's a very kind of interesting and weird and wonderful piece, both musically and then also in the way that we're presenting it on the stage. So we can kind of fully lean into the abstract and psychological aspects of the piece, and then that's represented with video projection and a little bit of microphone distortion on some of the voices, and it just sort of elevates the whole thing to this sort of it's sort of like it's happening in your mind, I think, and when you're sitting in the audience, I think it'll just be the kind of wash over you. It's just an experience to be had rather than something to watch as much, you know.
I think it's like the monster is telling his story, and so the monster, Il Mostro, played by Evan Hughes, he narrates this story, but it's sort of these flashes of memory or visions that he's having, and then it goes back into the darkness, and then we appear as sort of an image in his head. That's how I sort of take it.
And it's all about kind of his desires and his evolution kind of as this monster being.
The character of the monster, Il Mostro, is present throughout the entire piece, and so he also creates this tension that slowly builds throughout the piece, and you are hearing the voice of the monster but not knowing where it's coming from. So also all of the other characters are speaking about the monster, and there's this sense of impending catastrophe that's coming. And you're also given, through his text, which is extremely beautiful, a sense of his inner world, of who is this monster, what is this monster? And he's not a stereotypical evil monster. You see, he doesn't know who he is, and he kind of becomes created by the outside world. So he's not perhaps inherently evil, but rather brought to violence because of the pressures around him once he comes into the scene.
I think in the Greek classics, you have an opportunity to look at the relationships between each characters in specific moments in time, and you have a unique relationship between them in that moment in time. They're not one-dimensional characters, and actually that's one of the other interesting parts about this setting of the music is that, you know, we're not doing Baroque music. It's not affect style singing, so you have an opportunity to see multiple shades of each character. You see Marte in two different excerpts, one with Amore and one with me.
Which is also interesting for me because it's a totally different twist to my character, and that's kind of cool. I think, because I'm a totally different person when I talk to my son or try to talk to him.
Right.
And this is it's also quite comic in a way.
Yeah.
It has a comic twist towards it, and a certain amount of irony in it, I think.
Indeed.
Which is very interesting.
We are technically one character, and so we didn't know when we arrived whether we would be like Siamese twins, like you said, or like two halves, like the yin and yang of one person, or exactly how that was going to work.
I was sure that we would have one head like this, each other, and we would sing like this.
That was very uncomfortable.
Well, it's almost like this. So we do.
Yeah, sometimes we're connected and we move, but we're always pretty close together.
When I've told my friends about this project, musicians and non-musicians, I have to say, have been equally as interested to come and see it, which was surprising to me because at first I thought perhaps it was only going to be for, you know, a piece of music for musicians.
It is a little bit weird and a little bit out there, very much so. It's very avant-garde, but I do think that if you come with an open mind, it's something to be enjoyed by everyone.
Although the music is complex, it's also very witty and very beautiful in its own particular way. So I think anyone who has a taste for adventure should enjoy this piece.
Every time you leave the house and you go see a piece of art, you could fall in love.
It's true. There's always a chance. A good one.
Take the chance.
Take the chance.